So Farley Grubb is one of the authorities on American colonial currency. The American colonies were not allowed to issue coins. So the Crown of England would not allow them to, because the Crown wanted the colonies to use the Crown's own coins, okay? But there was a loophole. Nothing said that they couldn't issue paper money. Now, paper money had been issued in China for a long time, but this was, I think, the first big example of paper money being used in the West. So the colonial legislatures would pass a law that permitted the government to issue, let's say, 10,000 Virginia pounds worth of notes. At the same time, they would enact a new tax that imposed what they called a redemption tax that was expected to raise about 10,000 pounds. People could use the paper money to pay their new tax. That created a demand for the paper money. And Adam Smith, The Wealth of Nations, mentions this in his book. He said, "The strange thing is going on in the colonies. They're issuing paper money, and it's accepted. And they don't get inflation as long as they don't issue too much." Okay? So he noticed this. And it's very clear that these colonial governments knew what they were doing. They called it a redemption tax. The purpose of the tax was not to obtain tax revenue in order to spend. They knew they had to spend first, then tax. Nobody could pay the tax if they had not spent the notes. You spend first, then you tax. What do you do with your tax revenue? You burn it. You burn every note that is used to pay taxes. Tax revenue is not for spending. Tax revenue is for burning. Okay? Now, there's nothing unusual about this. This was also true all over Europe. Most of the sovereign governments in Europe spent by issuing tally sticks, wooden sticks. And when they received those back, there was a stock and a stub. When they received them back and matched them, they burned the tally sticks. Okay, what do you do with tax revenue? You don't spend it, you burn it. What do you do with coins? You melt them down and issue a new coinage. Okay, so taxes come after spending, and you use the revenue for a fire.